So you want to go to grad school? That is great. I'm so happy for you. But it's not quite as easy as I'm saying I'm going to do this. This is just the first step. There are a lot of things to consider and decide, and at times it can feel really overwhelming. It can feel like you're really locking in the rest of your life. So let's talk about this. Let me tell you about my journey from undergrad to grad school and how it eventually brought me here to Loyola. Let me tell you about me when I was in your shoes, trying to make those decisions, what I wish I had known or considered at that time, or what I wish someone would have told me. Let me start off by saying this. Grad school is hard. You are signing up for long days, 15 hours or more in the lab, looking like this, working on weekends. Most of the time what you're trying to do isn't going to work properly or at all, and your head is going to hurt because of the level of thinking you'll be doing. And then, in your second year, you'll discover that everything you did in your first year was useless. Because you didn't have enough experience and didn't do it quite right, or did not consider the right variables, and you will love every minute of it. I remember when the idea of grad school first hit me. I was a junior and doing a year-long internship at a pharma company. About halfway through the year, my supervisor and mentor asked me, "So, what places are you considering for grad school?" And I think I just stared at him like he was a ghost. Grad school? Grad school? My family had already been shocked enough that I went to college. I'm a first gen. Never mind that I wanted to study chemistry, something they knew pretty much nothing about. So, frankly, the idea of grad school had not even existed in my universe. The only doctors I knew were physicians. So, as I was blankly staring at my mentor, somewhere in the back of my mind, I heard him say, "You know, grad school, surely you've thought about it. You're definitely grad school material." And it was like someone had flipped a switch. Grad school, grad school, grad school. So, as part of my internship and another research project that I was doing in my senior year, I started reading a lot of papers. While the general area that I was interested in, drug design and protein-ligand interactions, came from me, none of these specific projects I had been working on were my idea. While I had a general area figured out, I really didn't know much more. So I started reading more. Not just the actual papers I needed for my project, but other papers they were quoting. I went to 2 conferences and listened to grad students present their work. And at that point, there was no going back. I knew I was going to do this. I just had to figure out the specifics. From all the info I got from the conferences and reading research websites and papers, I managed to identify a handful of research groups. Going through the actual process is pretty straightforward. You contact the schools or programs, you complete the application, hopefully go on campus visits or interviews, and then, if all goes well, you get some offers. The hardest part was deciding where to go. Well, if you know me, you know what I did. I made lists. Pros and cons for each place. I had it narrowed down to 2 pretty quickly, but I had a really hard time deciding between the 2. It took me a week to make the decision. And to be quite honest, looking back, I probably did not make the decision for the right reasons. Now, don't get me wrong. I would not go back and change it. I'm very happy how things worked out. The first week in grad school, I met my husband. Because of him, I did the postdoc I did. And he was also a big part of why I was looking for faculty positions in Maryland. I would not be here if I had chosen a different program, and I wouldn't change that for the world. So let's go back to those wrong reasons. There I was with my list, kept carrying around with me in my back pocket. I didn't need to look at it. I knew what it said. And I made my decision without the list. Now, that's fine. You have to trust your gut. And my gut was telling me one thing. The way I decided was this. I spent a few days imagining myself in one place, and then a few days imagining myself in the other place. What would it feel like telling people I'm going to? And with hindsight, I can now admit that my gut just wanted a big fancy name school. So that's what I did. I trusted my gut, and that was great. But my gut should not have been only about the reputation of the school. but also about the actual research, which, granted, I had already narrowed down, the PI who would be my boss, the other grad students and postdocs that I would be spending all my time with and basically become a second family, the size and feel of the research group. If I'm generous, I want to believe that my gut also took those into account, but I think I'm being very generous. Now, what's the point of telling you all of this? One, there are no right or wrong choices. What you're choosing from are all great options. It is like picking between your favorite dessert and your favorite ice cream. They're different, but both great, and you will enjoy either of them. Just go for it and dig in. Two, if you have trouble deciding on a research group, consider a rotation program. A lot of grad programs will cycle you through a number of different labs in the first few months, so you can really see what it is like and help you decide which group you will join in the end. Three, if grad school is for you, go for it. Sometimes people are not too sure, and it takes an experience or someone to say something. So get involved in research or internships. That is basically trying it on for size. If you're still not sure, there are also master's programs, some taught, some with research, to let you get your feet wet and see what it is like. And number 4, to sweeten the deal, there are typically no fees for PhD programs. They will expect you to work in the lab, do research, and you will probably also be expected to be a TA and to apply for grants. But usually, that also means that rather than paying for school, they will pay you a stipend. Now, don't get me wrong, it won't be a huge salary, but it'll be enough to live off and support yourself. So yes, grad school can be for you, even or especially if you're coming from a place like Loyola. You're already used to working closely with professors. Many of you have worked on a project or research. And while in many ways grad school may seem like the polar opposite of a liberal arts education, there are actually a lot of parallels. For one, in grad school, the lines between academic disciplines kind of disappear. The programs I was looking at were in a huge variety of different departments: biochemistry, biophysics, straight bio, and I ended up in theoretical chemistry. Yet, all the projects I was considering were all looking at the same topic. The different sciences are not really separated. They all merge together, especially the overlap between chem, bio, and physics, or physics, engineering, and computer science. So don't be scared off by a department name. It's just an artificially assigned label. Yes, the point of grad school is to really dig into one thing, but you also have to understand the larger context. In German, we have a great name for this: Fachidiot. Someone who is highly specialized in one topic and knows nothing about anything else. So you have to be well balanced, and that is what Loyola has been teaching you for the last 3 years. Don't believe me? How about this? The application for most grad programs only involves the general GRE, not subject-specific GREs, because they want students that are well balanced. They want you. So here's the gist of it. If you want to spend the next couple of years working very hard, long hours, on something that more than half the time is not working, and then in the end be rewarded with a bunch of letters to put behind your name, everyone being confused when you tell them you're a doctor but not a physician, and an outfit that makes you look ridiculous, grad school's for you. You will work harder than you have ever known, your brain will hurt and spin. You'll find yourself having the strangest conversations, such as the philosophy of quantum mechanics in a bar on Thursday night, because all your future friends are as nerdy as you. It is truly amazing to do research and spend the majority of your time with a group of people that are all interested in the same strange niche project as you, and are also really passionate about it. So you want to go to grad school? Great. Congrats. I'm so happy for you. You will love it. If you're looking to just talk it out or have any questions, you'll find me in my chem office or the lab. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go and look ridiculous in these hard-earned robes.